It's October 1996, just after sunrise, and federal agents are storming the offices of Stratton Oakmont. Inside, it's pure panic. Phones are ripped from desks, hard drives are copied, and employees are frantically stuffing folders of illegal contracts into the shredders. This chart shows the signature maneuver of the firm, the pump and dump. They would take a worthless pink sheet stock, hype it up with false promises to desperate investors, and then sell off their own shares at the peak. The stock would crater, wiping out hundreds of millions of dollars from working-class families. For Jordan Belfort, the architect of the whole operation, the chase was finally over. The FBI had the wire transfers, the recordings, and the witnesses. He was staring down 30 years in federal prison for wire fraud and money laundering. Usually, this is where the story ends. But look at Jordan Belfort today. He isn't rotting in a cell. He's touring the world as a highly paid motivational speaker and sales coach, looking as wealthy and confident as ever. He actually thrived. He became a massive pop culture icon. His life story was bought by major studios, turned into a global blockbuster, and played out on screen by A-list actors. How exactly does a man caught red-handed stealing millions, facing decades behind bars, walk away rich, famous, and cheered on by millions? Belfort's greatest achievement happened far away from Wall Street. He found a way to successfully sell his own crimes back to the public. Cornered by federal investigators, Belfort fell back on his strongest instinct. He liquidated his relationships. He traded the safety of his inner circle for his own freedom. The boss who built a cult-like culture demanding absolute loyalty from his staff quietly taped a microphone to his chest and went to work recording his closest friends. He flipped on his inner circle, handing over 30 loyal partners and brokers. Many were young recruits who learned to defraud investors purely from Belfort's scripts. Yet, because of his testimony, some served more prison time than he did. To Belfort, loyalty was simply another asset to be traded for a lighter sentence. The trade worked perfectly. Instead of 30 years, he received a mere 22 months in a minimum security facility. There were no fences and no cells, just morning tennis matches and afternoon weightlifting. It was inside this relaxed environment that he crossed paths with the comedian Tommy Chong, who was serving a sentence for selling bongs online. To pass the time, Belfort would tell Chong endless, remorseless stories about his days at the top. He bragged about the millions smuggled in cash, the crashed Ferraris, and sinking a luxury yacht in the Mediterranean while high on narcotics. Chong found these stories of devastation highly entertaining. He told Belfort to write it all down and package it into a book. The federal prison system, designed to protect the public, functioned as a quiet, undisturbed incubation chamber where Belfort drafted his next multi-million-dollar product. Once released, Belfort took the exact same high-pressure, straight-line persuasion sales tactics he used to push garbage penny stocks and aimed them at New York publishers and Hollywood executives. He published a memoir that offered zero apologies to the people he bankrupted. It was a glamorous, adrenaline-fueled catalog, glorifying the fraud, the drugs, and the ego. The pitch landed flawlessly. He sold the film rights, and elite filmmakers like Martin Scorsese turned his string of financial crimes into prestige entertainment. By trading financial manipulation for narrative manipulation, he successfully laundered his criminal legacy into a heroic, untouchable myth. The film was a massive commercial hit. Audiences packed theaters around the world, laughing at the jokes and actively cheering for the character's relentless greed. But while the public bought tickets, the real-world collateral damage remained untouched. Teachers lost their retirement funds, war veterans lost their life savings, families were left drowning in debt. This block represents the $11 million ordered in restitution. Despite book deals and movie royalties, only a tiny fraction has been paid back. The vast majority vanished, shielded in offshore accounts, real estate, and legal loopholes, leaving victims waiting. The regulators and the justice system secured their high-profile conviction, but they failed to make the victims whole. They prioritized getting a cooperative witness over actually returning the stolen money. Today, Jordan Belfort travels the globe, booking stages to teach ethics and sales to adoring crowds. He wears the title The Wolf as a proud badge of honor, entirely detached from the ruin it caused. He survived the justice system, then successfully monetized the concept of his own punishment, selling it back to the public for a massive profit. The uncomfortable truth is that a large part of society secretly idolizes ruthless financial dominance. If we are honest with ourselves, many of us didn't want him punished. We wanted his life. We bought the myth in movie theaters and bookstores, completing the circle of a scam that began in a Long Island boiler room decades ago.